Finally, some much needed relief and some signs of recovery in the crypto space. We needed this. My portfolio needed this. You probably needed this. Mentally, we needed a little bit of a recovery here. Cryptos are up nearly 20% right now for total market cap to the tune of an increase of nearly $300 billion in the last day. So let's talk about everything you need to know, what's going on here, and what you should consider with your portfolio. We're going to talk about a few things that I just don't see mentioned on other channels that talk about crypto in general, and I think they're important to mention. It might be a little bit controversial, but we got to be realistic here. So first off, let's get into the news. Let's show some market caps here and how things have increased. We can see up on top here, up nearly 20% over the last day. Huge amount of market cap increase across all cryptos. So you can think of this as the average crypto increase about 20% in the last day. After yesterday, we had a bloody red day, and that was already after some other bloody days in the week prior to that. So we've just been battered and battered and battered in the crypto space, and your portfolios were probably hurting pretty bad. So Bitcoin up one of the smaller amounts, which makes sense because they have such a large market cap relative to everything else, but up just about 16% as of right now. Ethereum up 34% to $2,569 as of right now. I was able to buy some Ethereum yesterday for $1,800, and boy, is that sitting pretty right now. We're going to talk about some of the other coins that are familiar to this channel that I've done deep dive breakdowns on. So if I mention one and you're a little bit curious about that, I've done a breakdown on it. You should watch that breakdown. Okay, Cardano. Love Cardano, up 32% for the day. Again, yesterday Cardano, I think I bought at $1.15. So that is doing extremely well as well. Dogecoin, only up 15%, which is a bit of a surprise to me. I expected this one to be one of the higher performers today. At least, I guess, as of right now, they have one of the larger market caps though, but up 15%. You really can't complain about a 15% increase in one day. XRP up 25% in the last day. And Chainlink up 44% in the last day, huge performer Chainlink, and then VeChain also up 44%. But you can see all of these are still down. Pretty much all of them are down in the last 7 days, with the exception of Matic, which is up 7%. Matic had a crazy day, up 109% in the last day. But basically everything else is down in the last 7-day period. But depending on how you looked at your crypto investments, you might still be up overall in the last 7 days. So if you took a strategy similar to mine, which is basically on all the bloodiest of bloody dips, I just simply added to my positions. Now, in the moment, it hurts to do that. It really hurts, especially like 4 days ago when it dipped real hard. I bought about $10,000 worth, and then it dipped again. It does not feel good when that dip just keep on dipping and dipping and dipping. But then yesterday I added again to my position, and at this point, I mean, FUD was in the air. People are like, cryptos suck. Why are you investing in that anymore? And honestly, that's kind of the best time to invest in something that you have high conviction on. And I think that's why it's important to have done all the research yourself, because then you can look back and think, okay, why did I buy in the first place? Why am I here? What has changed? And if none of the reasons why you bought have changed, but the price is lower, that can be looked at as an opportunity. Now, of course, that is much harder to do with a crypto than a stock. And I need to say this, I say this in basically every single video. I think it's very important to build a portfolio around stable, diversified investments. And then once you have that built up, then think about having a small little speculative moonshot bucket. And we have to face it right now, cryptos right now are speculative. They are moonshot type investments. They are hard to value. They're extremely volatile, as we've seen. So I think it's very important to have your stable base first and then the speculative bucket on the side. And I have some things to consider that we'll talk about at the end there. But thankfully, I have bought, I thought about making a video on my purchases yesterday, but I was thinking, you know, no one wants to hear about cryptos right now on another bloody red day. I did do a buy alert on my Patreon. These are the cryptos that I bought yesterday. I bought ADA, $3,500, Link, $2,000, Ethereum, $2,500, Bitcoin, $2,000, VET, $1,000, and they're performing extremely well. Now, if you want to join the Patreon, I added some more spots for this video. You can go ahead and join. You'll get things like buy alerts, all my research notes for various investments that I deep dive into. If you want even more in-depth like investor talk, we have a once monthly Zoom call that you can join, the higher levels for that. There's tons of options there. I just think there's value in having a community that you can talk to. This could be as simple as having like a group chat of friends who understand certain investments, or something like a Patreon. You don't necessarily have to pay, to be a part of this, but I know not everyone has friends who are in the know. They might just be telling you to sell off and run away as soon as there's a dip. But if you have a knowledgeable group around you, it's easier to make better decisions because you can kind of like quell the fears on, a crazy scenario. And then plus you can see other people are buying, and you can be a little bit more smart about what is going on and what you might want to do. So if we just take a quick look at how those purchases have fared in the last day, these are my purchases from yesterday. I bought $11,000 worth of various cryptos. These are the percent increases as of right now. So we can see the average increase as of today is just under 20%. With these coins that I'm a big fan of, that we've done deep dives on this channel, the average increase is much higher than 20%. In fact, the only one below 20% is Bitcoin in the last day. And then the paper profits on that $11,000 comes out to $3,765. Now, of course, this is paper profits. This could go down. This could completely evaporate tomorrow. Buying this yesterday, I did not know it was going to go up 30+% in one day. And I did not buy it with the intentions of it going up 30%. I just simply bought it because I was high conviction in these coins. And I think long run, they will pay off. And it just happened to increase dramatically in one day. But because of these decisions to buy the dip, I am now up overall in the last week, even though all of these coins are still down. So because of that strategy, I'm up overall, which is of course a great feeling to have, especially because I was down, I think, $12,000 at one point during this dip. From my crypto portfolio's peak, I was down $12,000, and now I'm up overall because of my various purchasing when I did not want to purchase, but I felt the need to purchase. It's like getting that inner, whatever that fear bot up in your head, kind of suppressing that and thinking, okay, what's the rational decision here? And it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. And of course, this could completely evaporate tomorrow, like I had mentioned. So let's talk about a few things that you might want to consider. Because now that the market is hot, you might be thinking, should I buy some? Is now a good time to buy? Cryptos aren't dead. Should I buy? I personally, this of course is not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. I personally will not be buying today. I will not buy on a day where things are up 40% ever. And that's because 9 times out of 10, there's a correction. Not always. We could have a day tomorrow that's up 20%. We don't really know. It's a flip of a coin. But I don't think the likelihood is another 40% increase in one day. I think there will still be buying opportunities at lower prices than what we're seeing with these 40, 30% increases. You might even have buying opportunities within the day with sharp decreases and increases. We don't know what's going to happen on the short run, but if you're long run focused, buying it on a day where it's 40% up probably is not the best choice. The classic, be greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy. We've all heard it. Yesterday, it was the definition of buying when others are fearful on, like the third crazy dip in a short period of time. So if you have cash sitting on the side, maybe consider just letting the dust settle a little bit first before hopping into another position, because you don't want that plus 40% to evaporate in one day, which it could. Next question you might want to consider is the crypto industry, is this marketplace even a place for you? If you have a significant holding in crypto in the last week, you're probably hurting pretty bad if you didn't already have a huge stable base on the side. You might be hurting, and it's a good time to ask yourself, when coins are up 40% in a day, is this a place that I want to park my cash? Now, a lot of channels who talk about crypto will not mention this, and I'm probably going to get some heat for this because there are hardcore crypto enthusiasts who just think you should place 100% of your portfolio into crypto, and that's fine. You do you. But I believe in having that stable base first and having investments that you don't have to think about every single day, and then the fun stuff on the side. So when everything is up is a good time to consider, hey, is this space a space for me? And that's just a question you have to ask yourself. Now, another question you might want to consider it's kind of similar to the second question. Should you place more money into safe investments? If the last week of bloody red days ruined your week, it might be a sign that, hey, I should place some of my investment money into something more safe. It might be a sign. Some potential safe investments that you might want to consider, of course, first, S&P 500. Get something diversified. S&P, there's no shame in trying to get an 8%, 6% return on a stable base. S&P 500. Another individual stock you might want to consider, Allstate Insurance. I think that's fairly valued right now. They produce a ton of cash. Berkshire Hathaway. There's pretty much never a horrible time to buy Berkshire Hathaway, in my opinion. Tyson Foods isn't a bad buy right now. Those are all more safe type investments, but really index funds are going to be the most safe if you're trying to build up, that side. And then the last question that you might want to consider asking yourself is, should you take profits? Now, this is another one of those things that a lot of crypto enthusiasts don't even like talking about. It's just crypto all the way, never pulling out, diamond hands. But if the last week again ruined your life, if it ruined your week, you probably shouldn't have that much money in crypto. If I only had $10,000 to invest, I would have probably none in cryptos. I would have it in diversified, safe stuff. I'd try to build up that base, build up a retirement base, and then have some fun stuff on the side, because I'm not trying to lose all that money. We know that this is very volatile. We have to admit that this is the moonshot side on the crypto side. We just have to admit that to ourselves. So I would never, say shame on anyone for taking profits, especially if those profits make a meaningful change in your life. If $5,000 in profits is the difference between your life improving or not, you might want to consider taking profits. Now, I know a lot of channels won't say that simply. So overall, I think this dramatic increase in the last 24 hours is a very good sign for the crypto industry, because it means it's not dead. It means there's still people willing to put money into this. There's still people who believe in these projects. I think that is a wonderful sign. I think it'll be extremely volatile from here on out. We very well could have more days and weeks down 40, 50% even. So just be prepared for that. But I think overall, this is a very optimistic sign. Not to mention that now the Treasury and the IRS are kind of legitimizing cryptocurrencies even more by putting more regulations and tax rules on these cryptos. Even though that might hurt in the short run, I think it helps in the long run just to prove the legitimacy. And if these huge agencies are looking at cryptos and thinking, hey, these things are getting big and they're here to stay, we should do something to, pad our pockets and avoid fraud, of course, as well. It just legitimizes the use cases and these coins themselves. So overall, I'm very optimistic here, and I'm happy to be able to report some green days and even talk about profit taking, because if you're talking about profit taking, it means people are up, which is a great thing. So that's going to do it for today. Join the Patreon if you want to join the Patreon. Check out the various offers down in the description for free stocks, free crypto, the crypto exchange that I use, my course, my YouTube course that covers how I make more than $50,000 a month on YouTube. Check that all out down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.